Hello. Hello, everybody. I don't even know if anybody's going to be able to catch this because it is, I don't even know what day it is. Oh my gosh. Thursday? Hello, everybody. I have to be honest from the jump. I have no idea what I'm on here to talk about today. I just wanted to go live and I kept questioning if I should because I didn't know what I was going to talk about because I come on here and I have like a set topic. Clearly the last time I didn't. I just came on here to paint my toenails with you guys and that ended up turning into something awesome. So sorry, trying to leave a comment. So yeah, I called it trust because I'm trusting in the fact that I have no idea what I want to talk about. I honestly don't. And so um yeah, start leaving me some comments. I mean, I just like chatting with you guys, to be honest. But yeah, I was just like, I really want to get on live. I want to be able to talk to some people, see how they're doing and what's on their minds. And I don't know, maybe something will be on my heart to talk about, but I was just like, I don't know. So one moment, I'm gonna just leave a brief comment. Really wanted to. Okay, hopefully that'll pop up there. Yeah. So again, I didn't really. I don't know. I didn't really have anything in mind. But again, like I said, I just felt pushed to just trust and come on live, even though I felt like I would look like a total fool by coming on live and having absolutely no topic in mind. But I'm trusting that that's something I can talk about. Trust. Been being pushed to trust a lot. I think I kind of talked about this a little bit last time too. I went live when I talked about surrendering. Um, I talked about because one of the biggest things I kept saying was realizing that you're the table and that life brings you the opportunities and that you just have to kind of trust and wait um, for the one that like perfectly fits what it is that you want. And like this is one of those situations where I did put out that I want to go live more and that I want to connect with you guys more and not always have it be plans because like me, I always need stuff planned. Like I need to know what I'm going to talk about. Like if I'm going to get on live and people can watch me live and I can't edit stuff out, I don't want to be looking lost, you know? So today's live is definitely a test and trust for me because I'm like, I have no idea, you know? Like I just like again, it's like I can't just get on here and then crop. I mean, I guess I could edit pieces out in the future, but point is to push me beyond that boundary and to push me to feel uncomfortable, I guess. Um, so yeah, honestly, to be 100% honest, I just wanted to talk to y'all, whoever was able to make the live, because last time was really awesome. I mean, and I think it was only maybe three or four people who were popping into the live and actually like in the chat. But it was really cool because it was just cool to see how much on the same wavelength we were, and how we really all had went through the same stuff. So yeah, what I'm going through now is learning to trust my process as far as if I feel like getting on live, just trusting, even if I don't have a specific topic, because I don't always have to get on here and teach something, you know. Sometimes I could just be bored or just be like, well, I want to go talk to my friends on YouTube, and then I just get on. Oh, it's so weird not having a topic, though. So weird. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm experiencing right now. Like, just the wave of like, how crazy do I look right now? Because I decided to hop on live without a topic. That's what keeps going through my mind. And then I keep being reminded the whole goal of this was to just trust that something good would come out of this, even if it's just me facing a fear of getting on live without a topic. So I guess that's one positive thing. Um, but I feel like in general, I've been pushed to trust a lot lately, especially with that whole realization, the whole you are the table. Like that's been a theme for me. And so I've just been being pushed to trust that the things that I want are coming and not to settle. It's like just been one of the biggest things. Um, Not settling and not worrying. Because normally, what happens is I'll put something out into the world and I'll say, I want this to happen. And it's almost like I get impatient in a sense. And I'll end up settling for whatever just ends up coming the fastest. And it's not always really what I wanted. So, in a lot of areas of life, I mean, with home, with career, with finances, I mean, with everything in life, it's like I've been being pushed to just trust, like, put what you want out there and wait for that opportunity to come, you know. Because I know for me, I've definitely been someone who's always kind of been taught to make things happen, to just go and make it happen. So, and that's what I was kind of doing, to be honest, with this live today. I was trying to, like, you guys, I've been wanting to go live since like 10:30 and it's now like 11:30 almost here. So for an hour, I sat around trying to figure out something to talk about. I mean, I was scrolling through social media and seeing if there was any posts that would kind of like trigger something in my mind to want to get on live and talk about. And when I say nothing came up, like absolutely nothing would come up. And like now I'm sitting here reminiscing on just that last hour and realizing that that again was an example of me putting something out and saying, hey, universe, world, God, whatever you call it, I want this to happen. I want to experience having a really awesome live stream chat with, people who follow me on YouTube or just happen to stop in. And I just kept trying to make it happen, like looking for that opportunity rather than just allowing the opportunity to come to me. And at some point, I just said, you know what? I just got to do it. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting how I constantly do that. I don't know if you do that, but I know for me, I do that a lot. It's like I have to be in control, I guess, is the best way to put it. I have to be in control. I have to know what's going on. I have to know when something's going to happen. I have to know what's going to happen, when, why, how, what, where, all the W's. I have to know before I embark on something, or it's just very interesting now that I think about that. So yeah, I guess me going live has just revealed just another facet of myself. And one of those things being that when the opportunity is there and it's the perfect opportunity to take it and to trust that it will work out. So again, that's kind of what I'm doing now. The opportunity was there, and despite not having a specific topic, despite going on social media and trying to find one, despite like doing everything in my power. I mean, I was checking my email, I was scrolling YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, you know. I was even sitting in my mind, just kind of like, okay, well, what's going on in my life that I can talk about? That I can like have this wise moment with everybody on YouTube. And I don't have one. I don't. This just might be it. Trust the process, surrender, go on and experience what you want, despite any fears, despite any worries. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what this was all about. Because this feels like a major test for me right now. Like literally just sitting here and not knowing what to talk about. Besides the fact that I feel totally awkward I mean, I felt awkward the last time I went on live and I was just painting my toenails, and then I guess I just had so much on my mind at that point that things just spewed out. But it's like for once, my mind is kind of like just chill, like kind of chill, you know, nothing really pertinent popping up on my mind. And so now I feel like I'm ranting or droning on and on and on. But I know this needed to happen because, again, I am a major controller, which, by the way, is something that does keep you from being the table in your life. Um, a lot of times when you try to control things, it's so that you can either manipulate others to try to get what you want, which means that you're not trusting or surrendering. A lot of times you also control because you're just afraid of things not going the way that you want them to, which is also not trusting. Um, so for me, I guess, yeah, this is just a major lesson. It's more so this time, this live, instead of me like sharing stuff I've learned, it's me actually learning. So I guess you guys just get to witness me learning a lesson about myself and how I approach life. Because again, I mentioned in that last live, like, yeah, I've come to this realization that I am the table and I no longer have to fight to get a seat at someone else's. Um, and just having, recognizing that I've had that low self esteem and low confidence and building that up, but it's a process, you know. It doesn't get fixed overnight as much as you may want it to. Like you can have an amazing realization and be like, I am the table, but that doesn't mean that every day from that point onward you're like never gonna dip back into self-doubt or dip back into your um, protective or defensive tendencies. So for me, like one of those tendencies is to just need to have my hands in everything and controlling everything, um, in fear that what I want may not come to pass. So yeah, there's a lot of people who try to control, whether it's through manipulation or just through trying to make something happen. There's many ways that you can control, many ways. That's one thing I have learned. And so I guess this is one of my ways. You know, I can control how I come to you on YouTube. I can control the fact that, oh, she always presents herself with the topic of the day. When she goes live, she always has, a set straight idea. And yeah, because I'm realizing YouTube is something I really enjoy. It's some sort of, it's part of the career I foresee for myself, and not in the sense that I want to be like an influencer or anything. I'm not interested in that. More so, what I have been doing for the last, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many years I've been on YouTube, 2 or 3, maybe 4, I don't know. Um, but it's always just been about me sharing my journey and being vulnerable in that sense. Because I never really, I know when I started this channel, I didn't feel like people really did that. I feel like you would always see the before and the after, or not even the before, you would just see the after. Like people would come on YouTube because they had achieved something and they wanted to share that achievement with everybody and then lead from there. And it's rare that I feel like you would actually see people go through the struggle of the process. And so that's why I had started this channel. And that's something I'm still very passionate about. Um, is creating the life you want. That's like since I started this channel, that's what it's ultimately always been about. Even if I, took turns and twists here and there, um, it's literally always been about that. Creating the life that you want. That's why I created. It was pursuing change from the beginning. um, but yeah, I guess this is really just a big lesson in, like, Shanae, you need to learn to trust big time, and you need to learn to surrender. Because there's so many times, like, whenever I do come back to YouTube after taking a break, I do try to control things. I try to create a schedule and say when I'm going to go live or when I'm going to post content and how it's going to be in line with such and such product I may be trying to release and things like that. And so I'm always trying to control. Um, and things don't always go quite the way I always plan. And then that's when I end up taking a break. because I end up burning myself out in a sense and not achieving the results that I was looking for. And so, one of the biggest things for me when it comes to what I see myself doing for the rest of my life is learning to trust and learning that if I foresee myself doing something, I kind of have to just trust that it's going to happen and trust that when I get like I don't know, like a gut feeling or just an intuitive thing to just do something, to just trust and do it. Or if an opportunity is presented and it's like the perfect opportunity to do it. But it's not easy. Trust and being just surrendering for me is just not easy at all. Again, it's like that feeling of I just have to I have to I have to do it. And it's interesting now that comes to mind because I've had my hair straightened right now. Probably looks a mess, but I've had my hair done for maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks. I straightened it. Like it's been at least 4 weeks. And for the last week or so, my mom would keep asking me, "Did you wash your hair yet? Did you wash your hair yet? You know, if you need help washing your hair, because my hair can be a task in itself. Washing it is a whole process, and then to blow dry and then straighten, because I want it to blow dry and then straighten it again. Because I don't wear my hair straight very often. And even when I do straighten it, I don't like I straighten it maybe I think I straightened it maybe 2 to 3 times in this whole like 4 or 5 week process. Um, and yeah, so I just enjoy wearing my hair straight, but I've been avoiding it, one, because I need to get more shampoo, and two, because I just don't feel like doing it. Um, and I keep trying to, again, like kind of control the situation in a sense because she keeps offering her help. And it's almost like sometimes you just have to surrender and accept help. Sometimes you just have to surrender and trust the process and trust where you're being guided. And I've been so resistant. Like every time I'm like, don't worry about it, mom, I've got this. And so I guess, I don't know, just doing this live is just forcing me to sit here in front of you guys and literally you guys watch the process of my mind. And as I'm being tested and trusting, going live without a topic and feeling like I look crazy awkward on here, um, you guys are seeing the inner process of just me learning to trust and surrender, which again is not very easy for me to do. I mean, I talk about it a lot, um, with my family, with my husband and stuff, saying I need to trust or we need to trust that this is going to happen. But things are always easier said than done. And when you're faced with having to trust and surrender in that moment, like, will you? And a lot of times for me, I just say no because one, I either think I can do the job better, I can figure it out, I can control it so that I don't look bad. Because that's something I mean, I guess a lot of us don't like looking bad or feeling embarrassed, um, or looking stupid. Those are some things that come to mind. Um, so we kind of stop ourselves from doing what we know we should do, until we can control it. Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe I do that a lot to myself where I kind of self sabotage because I know that I'll look imperfect in the moment if I just take the opportunity. And so instead of taking the opportunity and allowing myself to be vulnerable or real or whatever, I say, no, I'm going to wait until the perfect timing and perfect according to when I can have my hands in everything and control how it goes. Yeah. So I think I hold myself back a lot. And it's probably, not even probably, that's a major reason, probably why I haven't achieved what it is I've been looking to achieve. Um, Self sabotage. That's something I've mentioned since I came back with the first two videos, is me feeling like I've self sabotaged myself, and I that's something I've been learning a lot about myself lately, and just us in general as human beings. With just a lot of the stuff we carry and hold on to, we end up self sabotaging ourselves instead of like going after what we really want. We settle a lot because we want to feel safe, and yeah. Hope you settle a lot. So I've definitely settled a lot thinking that I wasn't settling because I felt like I was in control of the situation, when in reality, I was just sabotaging myself from experiencing what I really wanted. And yeah, that's what would have happened had I continued to stall and look for a topic to talk about and not get on YouTube and just do it, even if I feel like I look stupid because I don't have a topic. Because in reality, I know I'm not stupid. In reality, I know somebody will benefit from this. Somebody will watch this and be like, whoa, that girl's inner process is like mine. I don't feel crazy anymore. You know what I mean? So I know this will help someone. And I know it's helped me, if anything. It's taught me to just be free. Like, damn, stop being so uptight. It's like walking around with a stick up your butt. Like, stop. Just release, you know? And this might be TMI, but I am someone who tends to have issues letting go. And so, like, my husband will make fun of me all the time because I'll be like, babe, I haven't pooped in like 2 days. This might be TMI, but spiritually, that is connected to you not being able to let go and you being so rigid and so, like, I have to be in control, um, that you just don't release. You'd hold on to everything. That's also like if you hoard stuff, like I tend to hoard information. Um, that's also a control issue, needing to, I need this just in case this happens, or I need to have all the, like, I'm one of the people who feel like I need to have all the pieces together before I move forward with something. Like before I share something, oh, I need to have all the pieces. I need to have all of this figured out. And so I'll hold and hoard information. Man, yeah, I guess this is also showing me that I just need to let go. I've been so like uptight and needing to control stuff for so long, that it's just like I don't know how else to function until I'm forced to not be in control. Which honestly, in the situations where I've not been in control, they never turn out like not in my favor. They always work out in my favor. So it's like I've had plenty of experiences and examples in my personal life, like where things were just out of my control. There was nothing I could do, and yet they turned out to be a huge blessing. But the situations, oftentimes, where I am trying to force my control, again, end up just being kind of like meh. Nothing really comes from it. Like I don't really move. It's like I don't really move neither up nor down. You know what I mean? It's just, and that's kind of like the worst space to me to be in, is where like kind of like limbo. And I know that's something I've mentioned a lot in videos over the last couple years, is that feeling of being in limbo. And maybe that limbo feeling is literally my own doing. Because when you control, you don't allow things to naturally happen. You don't allow the waves to happen. You're trying so hard just to stay steady that you don't get to experience, the stuff that's necessary. It's kind of like you hold it off. Yeah. Hmm. So hopefully y'all can learn from me. Don't be so rigid. Don't be so uptight. Let things go. Let it go. And have fun. That's another thing. Have fun. You know? Yeah. I've definitely been very uptight. Very, very, very much so. Like twisted tight like a rag that you're bringing out and you just won't unravel it. Hmm. Yeah. So maybe I need to do this more. Maybe I just need to randomly go live more and more and just sit here with my thoughts. And I don't know, maybe that's something I do need. I mean, sometimes you just need to bounce ideas off of other people. And even if nobody's in the chat, I see that you're there. I can see that there's people watching. And so either way, it's kind of like that feeling of having that conversation with someone else and not always just being in my own mind, because that can get kind of nutty, as I'm sure you all understand. You get your thoughts in your mind and you just be bouncing off of the walls of your mind and you feel like you're getting nowhere and you're not having those kind of ahas. Yeah. So maybe I need to do this more just to be an example too, to encourage you to, I don't know, bounce your ideas off or talk out loud, learn from your lessons or realize your lessons in that moment, see how you're being triggered. So, like for me, again, going live without a topic was triggering me to feel like I needed to be in control. And it was keeping me from moving forward. It was keeping me stagnant and keeping me stuck. So, release your need to be in control. Yeah, release your need to be in control. Let go. You know, realize that the only control you have is you putting out your intention or your desire. That's what you have control over. And then you have control over what opportunity you choose, right? But as far as when that opportunity comes to you or how it comes to you, let go. You say what you want and then you wait. It's that simple. I wish more of us would realize how simple that can really be. I know there's a lot of us, me included, who just, again, you get impatient. You want things to happen in a specific way. You don't just outline what you want, but you outline how you want it and when you want it. And you feel like you have to have all of the details in place. I mean, I am literally that person in a nutshell. And when it's not happening as fast as you want it, maybe you kind of, and that's where my self doubt and low self esteem and self confidence would kick in, and feeling like, well, maybe I'm not worthy of receiving this, and that's why it's not coming to me in the time that I said, and blah, blah, blah. When in reality, you just don't understand timing, because when you're working out of a human mind, you don't understand spiritual timing and all that stuff. You just know, like, there is no such thing as time, right? In reality. And so the way God moves or the universe moves in your life is not going to necessarily make sense in timing in your human minds where you see things linearly. It's like man, how many years has it been? I think it's been like two. I'm not good with timing right now. 2 or 3 years. Um like I just knew certain things were going to fall into place. Like I had just received information that certain things were going to fall into place in a certain way. And I was expecting it, like news of like, oh, you'll be receiving money from the government. Um, your student loans will be forgiven in a sense, or you won't have to. Like it was a lot of different information that came across, and that there would be like a crash in the stock market, and there was a lot of information I had received, and like this was intuitively received information, and I was expecting all of this stuff to start happening like within the next 6 months, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So when it didn't happen, I was just like, oh, that information was wrong. And again, this was information that was through me and my husband. It wasn't like we were watching a YouTube video and somebody said something. Like it was information we directly received. And when it didn't happen, it was kind of like, yeah, whatever, almost like maybe I just, like, this is what was going on in my mind. Like maybe I just wasn't worthy of that, like receiving the financial abundance and different things. And lo and behold, 2020 comes around and we have this whole quarantine situation going on. And next thing you know, there's stimulus checks being sent out from the government. Student loans are being deferred for six months or longer. The stock market did definitely take a huge dip, um, huge dive, really. And it was crazy because then I looked at my husband and I was like, babe, this is the stuff we felt was going to happen years ago, but it didn't. And I started doubting, you know what I mean? The timeline of things. I started doubting if things were actually going to happen. And just kind of feeling like I started having to make things happen. In reality, I just, my human mind saw things. Oh, if I receive the information now, then that means boom, boom, boom. It's all going to happen like this. And I get to be in control and I get to experience what I want. And I get to, move the chess pieces around and do all this and that. And it was kind of like, no, the opportunity's coming. You've been made aware, but you have to wait and you have to surrender and you have to be patient. That's just one example. There's so many areas in life where um, I intuitively know something's going to happen, but I don't know the timing. And it'll be something that I really, really want to happen. And if it doesn't happen when my mind, like my human mind, thinks it's going to happen, then I discount myself and count myself out and just forget it. I'm not going to have it, kind of thing. That's another thing we've got to stop doing, guys. So, learning to just trust, learning to surrender, to be patient, and to have fun, enjoy life, know that everything that you want is coming, and be ready when the opportunity presents itself to do the work that's necessary. Because there will be action that you'll need to take. I know I mentioned this in the last live, but I'm just seeing it more and more. Like this going live now is that example. You have to trust and you have to surrender. And who cares how you think you look to others? Someone could stumble on this video 6 months from now and be like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed right now. You know, it's not about the negative feelings that you feel in the moment when presented with that opportunity. It's not about the fear you feel. And it's not about denying that fear. It's just you feel it and you go through with it anyway and you take the action that's necessary in that moment so that you can experience the bliss that's on the other side. Yeah. Because I feel much better now that I've gotten on and did the live than when I first started. When I first started, I was just like, what the heck am I going to talk about? That I'm going to look lost and I'm going to end up being silent for like minutes at a time and then I'm just going to exit the live and delete it and act like it never happened. But I'm not doing that. You know, I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I allowed myself to come on here and show you guys my mental process and show you guys something that I was dealing with. Because again, like, I don't care what guru tells you if they figured it all out, they haven't. There's so many people that I see online who try to put a front to the world that they know everything and that they've healed themselves and they've mastered themselves. But guys, it's a process, and I can tell you those people have not. Because from what I've seen, your triggers show up physically in your body. And if I can see certain physical things in someone's body, I can tell that someone's not fully healed. And then it's confirmed in the way that they act, and I start to see who they truly are behind the screen. And so I'm telling you that all these people out here, even on YouTube, who are giving advice and things like that, know that they're in a process too. They're in the same process as you, and no one has made it. No one has healed everything. I came across some ad and the lady was talking about how she healed herself of like every mental belief that was holding her back. And I was like, I took one look and I was like, no, you did not. You did not. And I know that's how I was almost portraying myself a lot of times when I came on YouTube, was trying to portray myself as this like wise sage who's been through a whole bunch and who knows. And I have all this information and knowledge and you should trust me. But in reality, when I look at people who do that, I don't even trust them. So it's kind of like, why was I trying to put on this front? And again, it's just that like that fear of what is it called? I don't know what it's called exactly, but like the fear of somebody finding out that you're not who you put yourself up to be online, or it's like the fear of people realizing that you're human too. Put it that way. It's almost like I've had this fear of people realizing I'm human and feeling like, because that's something I've struggled with. Um, and I talk to my husband a lot about like the self doubt I have about, oh, well, I'm not a certified psychologist, or I'm not like, I don't have a certificate that says I went through a life coach training or yada, 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 yada. And might as well be like, so what? Like, so what, you know? Um, and then I would also come across people who I see who are very successful in guiding and leading others, and they don't have any certifications in anything. But what they did was they had the confidence to trust that their story was enough, that they being human was enough, and that they were able to experience something that would help, that would give value to others in a way where it would help others lift themselves up from maybe the position they're in, and that's all that mattered. You know, that they were able to guide and help people in that way. You know, and it didn't matter like if, you know, the coach person was here and the person they're coaching is right here. It didn't matter. This coach here could help this person get here. You know what I mean? And maybe that's all that coach was there for, or all that person was there for. And so for me, I've been putting on a front for a while, trying to make it seem like I'm all the way over here and I don't know, like healed myself in so many ways, and I know all this information, like I'm a know-it-all, right? And it's kind of like people can read bullshit a mile away. And so I'm sure there's been many people who've like come and gone on this channel and been like, this girl, she thinks she knows it all. And yet maybe a lot of you are like right next to me, you know, like right here. But maybe there's a little bit of value or information that I have that can help you get from being right next to me to being all the way over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so that's another thing I'm realizing is I hold myself back a lot because it's almost like this fear of people realizing that you're just like them. Because a lot of times when you're on YouTube and you're giving advice or you're sharing your experience or you're trying to feel like you're helping others, you feel like you have to be leveled up in a sense where, oh, nobody's at my level so that I can help them get to this level. But it's like, no, you could literally be on the same level as them but see things in a way that they never saw it, and you can help them surpass you. You know, you can help somebody who may not be on the same level you are, and you can even help people who may be at a higher level than you are. It's not about where people are in their journey, it's just there's an experience that I have that's valuable, you know, and that experience is worth sharing. Wow. Pat on the back, Shanae. Because I really, you guys, I really had this fear of going live today and not having a topic, and just feeling like the world was going to see my humanness and see that I'm not perfect and see that I'm in my own journey and yada yada yada. And maybe that's exactly what I need to share with you guys more often, is sharing that I am in a journey, because at the end of the day, the people that I tend to trust are the people that I feel like really care about my well-being and are the people who I really feel have value to help me move forward. And it has nothing to do with accolades or certifications or any of that. Like, if I can, like, the stuff that I've invested in as far as like information, so people that I've learned from, teachers that I've personally invested in within the last year, there's only been two. Well, okay, one is a company of teachers, and then the other one, oh, they're both kind of companies of teachers. Kind of. But I will say that I enrolled myself into those things because I felt I could trust the teachers. They weren't putting on a front. They weren't trying to act like they weren't perfect. They weren't trying to act like they don't still have their struggles. They weren't trying to act like they're not still figuring things out. You know, they weren't trying to act like they have all the information that you'll ever need and that's it. They're people who continue to grow and people who continue to expand. You know, they're not like, oh, I hit this pinnacle in life and now I get to teach you guys everything. It was just like, no, this is what I've learned so far. And as I continue learning, I'm going to share it with you. And it has been like investing in those people in my life have taught me so much versus I have invested in people in the past who act like they know everything. And let me tell you, those people are still teaching the same thing, disguising it as something new. They're still teaching the same thing over and over again. their newest courses, their newest books, their newest this, their newest that, because they aren't allowing themselves to be human. They aren't allowing themselves to be shown for who they really are. So, yeah, that's deep. Just kidding. But for real though, um, yeah, I mean, for those of you who have watched, I hope that this has been like enlightening in some way. Um, it has for me. It's just ultimately helped me realize that I sabotage myself in so many ways. I hold myself back in so many ways. I've been so uptight for the last few years and so tightly wound up wanting everything perfectly in place, so that I would present a mask. I would present a facade and I would be believed for that. And then I would achieve the success that I want without having to truly let people in to my life or let people into like the inner workings of my mind in a sense. Always needing to come out and kind of just be that guide. But it's kind of like, you know what? I'm human too. I'm in my own healing process. We all are. And to be honest, I feel like we will be for the rest of our lives. The goal is to be able to have something be a trigger, but not cause a reaction out of you. That's ultimately what it is. It's being centered. And being centered is something may occur, someone may say something or whatever, but you don't have to be swayed to act out of character. You don't have to put on a mask to protect yourself. You can just be yourself and know that not everybody's going to like it. You can let your light shine bright and know that sometimes it's going to shine onto someone's darkness and they're not going to like it. Is essentially, you know, and yeah, that's what I kind of want this to be from now on. I want it to be like we're all on a journey together. And I might have information that's valuable to you, and you may have information that's valuable to me, and someone else may have information that's valuable to all of us. It doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there, but realizing again that we're all on a journey and that whatever value I can provide so that you can move forward on your journey and have that aha moment, that's what I want to be here to provide for you guys. So I feel so much better now. So thank you for those who have tuned in. Thank you just for listening and for being there and for just witnessing this interesting live today. Um, I will see you guys next time I go live, and or next time I post a video, whatever the case is. But again, thank you for being here to experience this moment with me, experience this lesson, this realization. I hope it's helped you in some way. I know it's helped me. And I will see you next time.